Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm from amandacrochets.com. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful slanted shell baby blanket. The slanted shell is a variation on the shell stitch that you've probably seen in previous tutorials, but this is a slightly different effect, and it's just because it's on more of a slant or diagonal. Now, it's fairly easy to do, and I believe any beginner can learn how to do it as long as you just keep practicing. So I'm going to show you how to make a swatch today, and I will link the pattern below, the written pattern below, just in case you're interested in checking that out. But this is my slanted shell baby blanket, and I really like how it turned out. You can come up with a variety of different color combinations. So if you want to use different colors than I did, so if you want to use pink instead of a blue or purple for a baby girl, or if you want to make it more gender neutral, you can certainly do that. I was just going through my yarn stash and I wanted to use up some extra yarn that I had lying around. So again, I will go ahead and link the pattern below, and we'll go ahead and get started on the tutorial today, and we'll make a little swatch. So for today's tutorial, you're going to need a J 6mm crochet hook. I'm using my favorite Clover and More. And you're also going to need some worsted weight yarn. If you want to follow along and use the same yarn that I used in my blanket, I'm using Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn, and I used one skein of each of the colors, and I used 4 colors. So I used one skein of light gray, one skein of white, one skein of soft blue, and one skein of greybeard. So as long as you have 4 skeins, one in each color, you should be good to go. Okay, so for today's tutorial, I'm going to start with the light gray color, and I'm going to make a chain of 22. So that's a multiple of 4 plus 2 more chains onto the end. So to make a chain, you want to wrap the yarn over your hook and pull through that loop on your hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 21, 22. So now that you have your chains, you're going to go ahead and single crochet into the second chain from your hook and make 1 single crochet in each chain across. So to make a single crochet, you're going to make a single crochet in that second chain from your hook. So that loop on your hook does not count, and you're going to count 2 chains from your hook, so 1 and 2, and you're going to make a single crochet. So insert your hook in that second chain from your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops remain on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and that is your first single crochet. So you're going to repeat this all the way down, so you have 1 single crochet in each stitch across. So in that very next chain, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. And again, you're just going to continue this all the way down. So let me finish this row and I will continue on to row 2. Okay, now that you have your first row completed, you should have 21 single crochet stitches. So to complete row 2, you're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3, and then turn your work. And in that very first single crochet, you're going to make 4 double crochets. So you're going to skip that chain 3 that you just did, and then that very first stitch right here, you're going to make 4 double crochets all in that one stitch. So to make a double crochet, you're going to do yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that stitch. Now if you turn it over, you see how there's those 2 loops right there? You want to make sure you go under both of those loops. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the final 2 loops. And that is your first double crochet. So remember, we're going to make 4 double crochets in that first single crochet. So that's number 1, and then yarn over, insert your hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, 3 loops remain, yarn over your hook, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So that's 2, 3, and 4. So that's what it looks like. So this is going to be considered your shell. Whenever you have 4 double crochets, that's going to be considered your shell. Next, you're going to skip 3 single crochets, and you're going to make a single crochet, chain 2, and 4 double crochets into that next single crochet. So what I mean by this is you're going to skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3, and that very next stitch right here, you're going to make a single crochet. So again, just like that, and then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to make 4 double crochets all in that same stitch. And this is how you're going to get that slanted shell look. 3 and 4. And then you're just going to repeat this all the way across, and you're going to end with a single crochet in the last single crochet of the row. So again, you're going to skip 3 stitches, so 1, 2, and 3. And in that very next one, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then you're going to make 4 double crochets in that very same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So repeat this all the way down, and I will show you how to end the row and move on to row 3. Okay, so I'm coming up on the end of my row, and I have 4 stitches left, so you're going to count 1, 2, and 3 and skip those, and then that very last one you're just going to make a single crochet, and then that's what your row would look like. So to move on to row 3, you're going to chain 3 and turn, so 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to do 4 double crochets in the very first single crochet. So in that single crochet from the previous row that you just made right here, you're going to make 4 double crochets in that stitch. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, you're going to skip over the 4 double crochets, and in that next chain 2 space, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 2, and 4 double crochets. So that basically means that that cluster or that shell stitch that you made from the previous row right here, you're going to skip, and that chain 2 space, which is actually right in here, that's where you're going to be working your next shell stitch. So you're going to just go right in between, and you're going to make a single crochet, chain 2, and then that same space you're going to make 4 double crochets. And this will kind of offset, so that way you get that slanted look. So that's what it's going to look like once you go into that space. And then you're just going to repeat this all the way across your row. So again, you're going to skip that 4 double crochet shell cluster right here, and in that chain 2 space you're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, and then 4 double crochets all in that chain 2 space. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this row, and I will show you how to end it and go on to row 4. Okay, so I'm coming up in the end of my row, and I have 1 shell stitch left. So to end your row, you're going to find that chain 3 space, and you're going to put a single crochet into that space. So after you've done a few rows, this is what your slanted shell is going to look like. So again, you can click on the written pattern in the description below and you can figure out how to do the color changes that I did in the striping. So to count your rows, you're going to count this shell right here and then this shell. So it's kind of going to be going on an angle a little bit. So I did 4 rows of each color in the light gray, the soft blue, and the greybeard. And then in between each color I did 2 rows of white. So let me show you my blanket real fast. So when you start off with that single crochet right down here, actually, I'm sorry. When you start here with the single crochet row, then you're going to count your shells. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's going to be 4 rows of your shells. And then 2 rows of your white. And then I went on to the blue and made 4 rows. And then again, 2 rows of white. So let me go ahead and show you how to change colors, just in case you were doing it in different colors and not one solid color. So I'm going to go ahead and take out that single crochet that we just made. So if you were going to change over to the white, you were going to just start your single crochet just like you normally would and pull up a loop and stop. And instead of finishing that, you're going to drop your color. Now I'm not going to cut my ends off, but if you were to cut your ends off right here, you want to cut about a 6-inch tail just so you can weave in your ends later on. And then to add in a new color, you're going to again leave about a 6-inch tail, and you're simply going to lay it over your crochet hook and then pull through with that new color. And then I kind of like to tighten everything a little bit. And then you're going to go on. So when you go on to row 4 and any row after that, it's going to be a repeat of row 3. And again, you can look at the written pattern for the color stripe sequence. But to continue with row 3, you're going to do chain 3 and turn. And then with that new color, you're going to do 4 double crochets in that very first single crochet from the previous row. And 4. You're going to skip that shell, and in that chain 2 space, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 2, and then 4 double crochets. And like I said earlier, there's so many different color combinations that you can make with this. You can use a solid color, you can use different colors like I did. There's definitely a lot of possibilities with this stitch in this blanket. So this is how it would look with 2 different colors. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few more rows, and I might change colors again, and then I'm going to show you how to finish up the blanket so the blanket has that nice edging on top, so it makes both the bottom of the blanket and the top of the blanket have that nice straight edge to it. Okay, so I'm coming up on the end of my swatch here. So say this is your second to last row. So I started and ended with that light gray color. So after you've made 4 rows of that slanted shell design, this is how you're going to do the last 2 rows. So the second to last row, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to make a single crochet in that very first stitch in each of the double crochets across. So I will show you how to do that. So in that very first single crochet, you're going to do a you're going to do a single crochet, and then in the next 4 double crochets, you're going to do a single crochet in those stitches. Three and 4, and then you're going to skip the chains and that single crochet, and you're going to go immediately to the next double crochets, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in the next 4 double crochets, and you're going to do this all the way down. And this will kind of help keep everything a little bit more balanced and even itself out. And then it'll also match the beginning of your blanket with that single crochet row. So again, skip your 2 chains and that single crochet and make 1 single crochet in the 4 double crochets right here. And like I said, you're just going to repeat this all the way down, skipping those chains and that single crochet, and only making a single crochet in the double crochet stitches across. Okay, and then when you get to your end, that chain 3 at the beginning, you're just going to make a single crochet in that last one. And then to make your last row, you're going to do chain 1, and you're simply going to make a single crochet in each single crochet across. And again, this will make the blanket even out, and it will mirror the beginning of your blanket when you made that single crochet row at the very beginning. Now I opted to not do a border around my entire blanket, however you can certainly do that. And my blanket ended up being a 36 by 34 inch baby blanket. Again, if you wanted to change up the sizing of it, you just want to do a different multiple, as long as it's a multiple of 4, and then you add 2 more stitches onto the very end. Everything will stay in balance, so you can make it bigger or smaller depending on your preference. And again, you can make this in so many different color combinations. I would love to see what color combinations you come up with if you decide to make this blanket. So if you want to share your designs with me, you can go ahead and do that on my social media post, which is linked in the description. So this is what your blanket will look like, but again, this is just a small swatch sample. So as you can see, the top right here turned out very nice and neat, just like that bottom. So that bottom is nice and neat, and it's going to be basically the same pattern on each side of your blanket, and it actually is going to be a little bit textured and puff up a little bit as well, which is why I really like this stitch. I'm a big fan of textured stitches, so I thought this was going to be really pretty. And I love the shell stitch, as I said, so I thought this would be a different variation on that. So again, here is my slanted shell baby blanket, and I did 4 rows of each color, and I did 2 rows of the white in between, and I kind of just used up as much of my scrap yarn as I can, as I'm trying to get my stash a little bit more in control. So again, this is the slanted shell baby blanket. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and this pattern just as much as I did. All the information regarding the yarn, the hook that I used in today's tutorial, as well as the written pattern, are going to be linked below in the description box. And please like, comment, and subscribe to see all future videos by me. And as always, if there's anything that you would like to see, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day. Bye.